Hello, I'm not really one to talk about these things, but I just think it should be spoken about a little bit more. I feel like when people say that discrimination or like sexism doesn't happen in golf anymore, I just think, let's be for real here. Today, I was doing a Beat the Pro on a golf day, and I thought I'd tell you all the comments I got from majority of the men. One guy said when I took out the club that I was going to hit, he said, "That's a bit girly, isn't it?" and proceeded to hit a really bad shot afterwards, in which I replied, "That was a bit manly, wasn't it?" They came up to me and said, "I'll take my coffee with 2 sugars." To which I replied, "I'm sorry, I don't have any coffees on hand, but I think there's a Costa down the road." And he said, "Oh, right, well, what's going on here then?" As if to say, well, why would you be on a golf course if you're not making teas and coffees? So there was just the typical shock of when I said I was the pro that they were going to have to be, of like, no way is it her? Yeah, just like people's reactions to hearing that I was the pro golfer was like baffling to them. And I think sometimes it's not like the specific comments that people make, but it's the context of, I know if I was a male, these comments wouldn't be made to me. Like, I was literally having some crisps and a guy was like, "Oh, surely you shouldn't be eating them." And it's like, I know that if it was like a grown male stood there, no one would be commenting on what they're eating. I've been stood out here for 5 hours and not had any food. Yes, I'm going to have a packet of crisps. I'm so sorry for being slightly unhealthy. I was also off of the same teas as them, and I got multiple comments saying, "Surely you should be on the teas," and then pointing to the teas that are shorter. I'm not really one to fuss too much about like ladies' teas, men's teas. But equally, it's the assumption of you literally don't know me, you don't know how far I hit the ball, and you're also not a professional golfer. So for you to think automatically you're going to hit the ball further than me is a little bit silly. To be honest, I have actually been speaking about this a little bit more openly recently, because I think as I grow up, I've realised how like much worse it is than I originally thought. Like, even if I think back to the days when I was working, like I used to get asked if I have a British passport when I was working at the golf course reception. One time someone asked me like what country I was from, and I was like, "Oh, I was born in England." And they were like, "Were you really? Were you really?" And I'm like, "Yes, I have an English accent. Can you not hear?" I just feel like maybe talking about it more is the way forward. If you're a girl and you get weird comments on the golf course, you're not alone. And if you're a guy, stop making weird comments on the golf. I also had one of my friends come with me to a golf course the other day that I was playing a competition at. And for reference and context, he's 6 foot, he's black. And a member of staff came up to him and was like, "Hi, like, can I help you?" But not in a way of, "Can I help you?" It was a way of, "What are you doing here?" And then he kind of just looked at me and I was like, "No, we're all good." And then he was like, "Right, do you know, like, where are you going?" And I was like, "I'm going to the clubhouse." He was like, "Oh, right, like, what are you here for?" And I was like, "I'm playing in the competition." And then he was like, "Oh, I just didn't recognise you, that's all." But why would you recognise us? Like, you have a competition here, you have a bunch of people from other golf courses, majority of the people here you won't recognise, but you've made an effort to come up to us because we don't look like the majority of the people here and ask what we're doing. It's just bizarre. I feel like when girls speak about these things, it's sometimes taken as like, oh, they just can't take a bit of banter, or like, oh, we obviously meant it lightheartedly. But I think there's a big difference between banter with your friends or people who know you, but when it's strangers you are meeting in a professional environment, it's very odd. I'm all for banter, love a little laugh, but there's just a time and a place, and there's also boundaries. Anyways, that was a very long rant, but I just feel like I want to be a bit more open about certain things. Yeah, moral of the story, sometimes it's better to just think things in your head and not say it out loud.